I am Sandra Connor, and this is Community Analysis of Inverness, Florida. It was founded in 1868 by Alfred Tompkins, who bought 60 plus acres of land in the secluded lake area in Citrus County. He founded the community by buying up more land and giving it away, gave it away to family members, relatives, and friends. And he set up a post office on his own account. He set up everything himself and created this community. He was a very giving man. So they named this originally Tompkinsville before it became Inverness. And it became Inverness in 1889 when a Scottish contractor who was building the courthouse wanted it named Inverness. It was part of the deal to build it was to change the name to Inverness because he said it reminded him of his hometown in Inverness, Scotland. Okay, housing condition in the structure of the community is low to high income families throughout. Mainly in the city area, you're going to see more of your medium income families, some high income on some sides. The southeast side of Inverness is more of your low income family. Also to the north towards Beverly Hills and to the south towards Floral City, more low income. However, around a lot of the lakes, a lot of the larger acreage and everything are very high income family homes. Okay, police, fire, and emergency services are the Citrus County Sheriff Fire Rescue. The response time for these departments average about the same as all the other counties. Nature Coast EMS is a nonprofit. It serves as for the EMT, Advanced Life Support and Transport for the county, and they have actually set up a medical alert system for seniors and those with disabilities. Works very well. They don't seem to be any problems with that system. As far as transportation and volunteer taxi, the Citrus County Transit has the Inverness Orange Line that's available Monday through Friday, so not really anything open on the weekends for them. But children under 12, seniors over 60, disabled, veterans, Medicare recipients, they all ride for free, and the cost is really low for everyone else. Also, the Florida Department of Elder Affairs has transit service that provides volunteer transport for the elderly in the community at no extra cost. Some of the most populated places in Inverness seem to be the churches. They have some large churches there. The one you see in the picture, First Baptist of Inverness, is actually in their lower income side of town, but it's very well kept, very large, and a huge congregation. And I noticed a lot of smaller churches all over the place too when I was doing my windshield survey. As far as food and grocery stores available, your regular chain, Publix, Winn-Dixie, Save-A-Lot, Target, Walmart, all those. Multiple convenience stores and a couple mom and pop shops. The store seems to be average in their price of goods. There doesn't seem to be any discrepancies with that, and all of them that I saw are very good with their handicap accessibility. Okay, utilities. You've got the City of Inverness Water and Sewer. It's in the city limits. Department of Public Works, of course, is responsible for the wastewater. But the majority of the city is on city water, but your outskirts, your acreage and outskirts and everything, they are mostly well and septic, private wells and septic. Main roads running through Inverness is Highway 41 and Highway 44. They are older paved roads, but 41 heading north and south, running north and south, is mostly in disrepair. A lot of potholes, a lot of chipping, old asphalt. Really could use some road work. 44, however, running east and runs south and turns and heads west, east and west, and it looks a lot better. It's a wider road. It seems to be more accommodating and in better repair. Population of Inverness, it's over 7,100 people. Majority of it is white. 83.3% is white, followed by Hispanic or Latino, and then Black or African American. My 2 days in Inverness that I spent up there, actually, I found no discrepancies with that. That seems to be the statistics are accurate. The only discrepancy I saw was median age. I mean, I believe that it would be 56 statistically because we're counting all of the population, which is mostly retired. But out and about, what I found in the community, mostly in their 20s through 40s, what I noticed out in the parks, trails, walking around, I found to be quite a young crew there that I didn't think would be in Inverness. Main health concern for Inverness definitely is heart disease. It's number one on the chart. And from what I've seen in my windshield surveys, I'm going to say way too many fast food restaurants, way too many restaurants in general. I mean, it's all over. It seems to be the only thing to really do there is to eat and enjoy the parks. And also Citrus Memorial Hospital, they have open heart surgery and cardiac interventions. It's like their number one specialty. So I'm guessing that says a lot for the community. Most employment in Inverness is law enforcement, medical, healthcare, and restaurants, entertainment industry. Which, these jobs that serve the public are very stressful and which can contribute to high blood pressure and heart disease too. Inverness is known for its recreation. It's many parks, nature trails, lakes, outdoor activities for jogging, kayaking, mountain biking, running, water skiing, everything. So them having all this available almost seems strange that they would have such a high number in heart disease. But then you take into account the fact that they have all these restaurants of fast food and everything pictured in here, stump knockers, and it's like one of the big bars, places to eat, restaurants, and it's conveniently located right across the street from Citrus Memorial Hospital. I noticed this is where most of your healthcare professionals go after shifts. Okay, the adequacy of the health and the availability of the resources um, is going to be Citrus Memorial number one on the list. This is in the heart of Inverness, provides almost complete variety of everything you want, not only like we mentioned before, the open heart surgery and cardiac interventions, but labor and delivery, which serves not only Citrus County, but a lot of the counties in between. I know Hernando County will utilize it, and so will the others. Um, Everything else, they have an orthopedic surgery specialty wing. They're known for that too, and of course, their acute care, surgical, and emergency services. Fees and everything, of course, are based on insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, and the services provided. You have the health department, which offers, community. It's based on your income, and the services are standard as all other health departments. And I noticed there's a variety of walk-in clinics, dental, medical, vision, all of them in Inverness and the surrounding areas, Floral City, Beverly Hills, all them. Of course, those prices are going to vary, but they didn't seem, from when I called around, they seem to be basically, you're looking 70 to 90 a visit without insurance. Pharmacies in Inverness are the same chain pharmacies you find anywhere: Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, Publix, Target, all those. And they also have Brashear's Pharmacy. It's a family-owned business, and it's been there for a couple decades, except, all your insurance is Medicare, Medicaid. Okay, for the Healthy People 2020, definitely top of the list, reduce coronary heart disease by 10%. This being as heart disease is the number one cause of death for the people of Inverness and Citrus County, this has got to be a priority. Education, easily available resources for the public's a must. Educating people on healthier options for eating, for dining, is ideal. Definitely something needed. Number two, I'm going to say reduce the proportion of adults with hypertension by 10%. Hypertension and stroke high up on that list of causes of death. And, once again, education of the public, availability of resources, this is a priority. And not only, just of education on heart disease itself, but eating choices and avoiding sedentary lifestyles and managing stress, especially with the types of jobs and everything you see there with public service. Stress education needs to be incorporated. Number three, reduce overall cancer death by 10%. Cancer is second leading cause of death in Citrus County. And, education, prevention, early screening, helping people to understand their environment and lifestyle changes and things that need to be done, especially people who are genetically predisposed, it would be a good thing. Okay, the environment of Inverness, it's Florida's nature coast. Nestled among the Sala-Apopka chain of lakes, the environment of Inverness is peaceful, quiet, nature-centered. And according to the Department of Environmental Protection, the air quality in Inverness is very good. Lakes are clear, full of fish, wildlife, turtles, and Inverness is abundant in these parks. Lakes, trails, we're talking 600 plus acre parks. They have biking, running, walking. Of course, your Suncoast Trail or the Withlacoochee Trail runs right through the center of town. It seems to be very busy. Plenty of resources available for the community to utilize for healthier living. Because this community is nature focused, you're not going to find big industries or plants or anything in there. It's very conservation minded. And the majority of the city appears to be clean, well kept. Some of the outskirts communities, they seem to be a little more rundown and in need of repair. A lot of the low income areas seem to be, in need of repair. And I suppose this is the same as other communities. I noticed it towards Beverly Hills. I noticed it while driving through Floral City also. And there's a abundance of stuff that they do here. The acreage, the activity, everything outside that actually gets youth involved. I saw a lot of younger people, like I was stating earlier, at the parks, kayaking, running, biking, and everything. And I believe the Inverness has such a low violent crime rate, probably because we engage the youth. They have a lot to do. They get back to nature. They get out doing stuff, and they're not always just looking for stuff to do and just keep out of trouble kind of stuff. They're actually engaging in stuff they enjoy. Inverness is actually 75% lower than the national average for violent crime, so they're actually a pretty safe place to live. Multiple clubs available also, which helps contribute to this low crime rate, I believe, is a Boys and Girls Club, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, YMCA, multiple community groups like Citrus Road Runners, their Garden Club, their Tops Club, which is taking off pounds sensibly, and many more. A lot of stuff available. The government and public policy of Inverness. Being an elected official in Inverness, it's not considered a full-time position, so they don't have offices in their government building. But they're there often, and they're easy to get a hold of. They're available to the community. Their email address and individual phone numbers are available on the city website, City of Inverness. And when I called them to do some of my assessment work, I actually had called the government center, and I was impressed that they had called me back. I missed the phone call. They left a long message trying to give me the information I had asked for. And then they called back again in a couple hours just to make sure that, I was getting what I wanted, that they were helping me, assisting me get information. So I was really impressed with that. Budget provisions for the city. They aim to provide for public safety, number one, and then physical environment, culture and recreation, the economic environment, and the government itself. And they do a pretty good job of it as far as I'm concerned. And community involvement, I mean, that's number one. The people really seem to be involved in their clubs for beautification and taking care of their conservation clubs. Okay, community needs. I prioritize this for what I found mostly with my windshield survey and then with my research and statistics. One thing I noticed, number one, was the people smoking outside the hospital, stores, clinics. We know that smoking causes coronary heart disease. It's a leading killer. And in Inverness, 28.8% of the population smoke cigarettes. And since there's a problem with heart disease, and lung disease, cancer, all that seems to be up high, smoking needs to be addressed, definitely. And I didn't notice any people smoking out on the parks or trails at all, just towards the inside of the city and everything. So definitely something that needs to be addressed and needs to take better steps in taking care of this. And number two, community involvement in the low-income areas. This is a big one for me, and I picked this because I feel it's equally important for the health and well-being of every individual in the community to have a clean environment to live in. If we approach this in a holistic point of view, I think that's good for mental health and everything. The majority of the maintenance here now is spent on the historic district in the parks and the lakes, where the entire city of Inverness should benefit from good maintenance and community involvement of all areas. Number three, the community needs to make available resources to the public a little more accessible to ensure that those in need have knowledge of what's available to them. I had to search a few places to find different resources I was looking for, such as just one example, the disability program at the Lighthouse. Had to go through a couple loopholes and links to get the information that I was looking for. And it's a very good program, so making it more accessible for people that may not have known about it to get access to the information. And as well as like the bus schedule, I could find it online, but when I was down at the health department and when I was at the hospital, it was really hard to see, bus schedules and find stuff that would be available for people so that they could get to these places, which is very important. Number four, expanding the garden club to include a community produce garden. I think creating this would be a huge benefit, incorporating community involvement and unity, but also for healthy eating and eating at an affordable cost. You're also looking holistically at, building people as being part of something, learning new skills, all very good. There's nothing but pros to this. I haven't found a con yet to doing a garden club. I think that's something that should be addressed. Five, promote physical activity. Although this community is very much geared for being active, According to statistics, 52.2% of adults are inactive or not sufficiently active. And of course, knowing this is a retirement community, these statistics might not be as accurate. I mean, we're looking at, you can't expect a 80-year-old in a ALF to be doing the same thing a 20-year-old would be doing out biking. So how they did their statistics and how they drew it up, I'm not sure if there is no data for that. But, that being said, 52.2 still be an alarming number. So this is something that definitely needs to be addressed for all ages, really need to be doing something. So more education and promotion should be incorporated where possible, and knowledge of resources made more available, of course. Last but definitely not least, Inverness needs a health and weight loss guidance for low-income families that's easily available to them and at no cost. Utilizing the health department, the pediatrician's office, doctor's office, and the WIC office. Having a specially trained health nurse to incorporate tailoring individual weight loss plans and healthy lifestyle changes and tracking progress for people, low-income families. I feel a program like this would be very successful because you have these skilled nurses involved to teach, plan, and encourage people and help track their progress and to help them make the changes they need. Just looking at some of the statistics of the Obesity Action Coalition, it was very promising to do a program like this. Okay, global. Let's compare Inverness on a global perspective. Definitely smoking cessation's got to be number one. Like I said before, smoking in Inverness, it's very high. 28.8% of the population is high. And lung disease being the third leading cause of death, cancer the second, and heart disease number one. I mean, all three of these are linked. You can link smoking to all three of them. So that's an alarming rate. Globally, blew my mind. 1 billion people smoke cigarettes globally, and 6 million people die every year due to smoking-related issues. And these statistics seem to be higher, of course, among middle and low-income countries. Probably because education resources and things are not made available to them to help them. Now, as far as how are we caring for this, what's going on, some countries use their own programs and plans for smoking cessation. Most of them are just, maybe some literature, maybe, tell the people don't smoke. But Africa seems to have the African Tobacco Control Consortium. And this one's actually funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. From what I understand from the American Cancer Society, they put like $8 million towards this. And they're using this, incorporating it in 10 different African countries. And it seems to be working. They're doing tobacco-free areas, smoke-free areas, commercials, promotions, letting people know, giving them good graphic detail, and really helping them with what to do. Inverness, however, I mean, their smoking cessation is basically, the health department, hospital physician's office, they educate through pamphlets, and the doctor saying, hey, don't smoke, you got to stop. Doesn't seem to be very effective, not enough to encourage people to actually want to stop. I think more graphic knowledge of the horrific damage smoking does to a person and the serious damage of secondhand smoke on their loved ones would be more beneficial. Along with this, you need to educate people. You need to give them the how-tos. People need the how-tos, and they need to know, how to control nicotine cravings. And I think, doing like support and encouragement groups, kind of like an AA, would be beneficial. Helping people. Nicotine's a powerful addiction, and I think if we can incorporate some more plans into doing this, this would be beneficial, and I think you would see numbers start to drop. But this is my presentation, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned something about Inverness, the pros and cons. It's a beautiful area, and I encourage you to visit.